The rural countryside of Wisconsin, with its rolling farmland and dense forests, might not seem like the setting for a supernatural mystery. Yet it is here, along a lonely stretch of road in Elkhorn, that tales of a terrifying creature have persisted for decades. Known as the Beast of Bray Road, this alleged cryptid has become one of America's most enduring legends, blending folklore, eyewitness accounts, and cryptozoological intrigue. This is the story of the Beast of Bray Road, a creature shrouded in mystery and fear, early reports and folklore. While the legend of the beast gained widespread attention in the late 20th century, its roots may stretch back much further. The indigenous Ho-Chunk Nation, who inhabited the region for centuries, spoke of spirits and shapeshifters that roamed the wilderness. These tales, though often symbolic, described beings that bore a striking resemblance to what modern witnesses would later claim to see. In 1936, a man driving near Jefferson, Wisconsin, reported seeing a strange creature digging in an Indian burial mound. The figure, described as part human and part animal, reportedly growled before fleeing into the woods. This sighting, though isolated, hinted at a history of unusual encounters in the area. The modern legend emerges, the 1980s and 1990s. The Beast of Bray Road, as we know it today, began to take shape in the 1980s. Residents of Elkhorn, Wisconsin, reported seeing a large bipedal creature with the appearance of a wolf or dog, but with humanoid features. Witnesses described it as standing 6 to 7 feet tall, with broad shoulders, glowing yellow or red eyes, and powerful limbs. Its fur was dark and matted, and its movements were unnervingly agile, suggesting an intelligence beyond that of a typical animal. The most compelling accounts came from Bray Road, a quiet country road surrounded by farmland and wooded areas. Locals began to share their encounters, and whispers of the Beast of Bray Road spread. In 1991, the Walworth County Week published a report by journalist Linda Godfrey, who had interviewed several eyewitnesses. Her article brought the story into the public eye, and she later expanded her research into a book, The Beast of Bray Road, Tailing Wisconsin's Werewolf. Eyewitness accounts. The testimonies of those who claim to have encountered the beast are eerily consistent. Laurie Anderer, 1989. Laurie, a local bar manager, was driving home one evening when she saw a large figure hunched by the side of the road. At first, she thought it was a bear, but as her headlights illuminated it, she realized it was something else entirely. The creature, with a wolf-like head and muscular body, stood on 2 legs and stared at her with glowing eyes before running off into the woods. Steve Kruger, 1990s. Kruger, a DNR worker, was collecting roadkill when he had a chilling encounter. He placed a deer carcass in the back of his truck, only to feel the vehicle shake violently. Turning around, he saw a massive, wolf-like creature attempting to drag the deer away. It snarled and fled as Kruger scrambled back into the cab. The Bray Road Incident, 1999. A teenager driving along Bray Road reported seeing the beast in her headlights. She described it as crouched over, eating roadkill. When her car approached, the creature stood upright and lunged at her vehicle, clawing at the door as she sped away. Explanations and theories. The Beast of Bray Road has sparked numerous theories, ranging from the plausible to the paranormal, cryptid, or unknown animal. Some believe the beast is a cryptid, an undiscovered species of wolf or a prehistoric predator that has survived in isolation. Its upright stance and agility suggest an evolutionary anomaly. Shapeshifter or werewolf. Others draw on Native American legends of shapeshifters, suggesting the beast may be a spiritual entity. This theory is supported by reports of the creature vanishing without a trace, as if dissolving into the shadows. Escaped exotic animal. A more mundane explanation is that the beast could be an exotic animal, such as a large wolf or hybrid, released or escaped from captivity. Mass hysteria, or hoax skeptics, argue that the beast is a product of mass hysteria, fueled by urban legend and misidentifications of bears or large dogs. Others suggest deliberate hoaxes, with some sightings being embellished or fabricated. Cultural impact. The Beast of Bray Road has become a symbol of local folklore, drawing cryptozoologists, paranormal investigators, and curious tourists to Elkhorn. The town embraces its spooky reputation, hosting events and tours that celebrate the legend. Linda Godfrey's work has inspired documentaries, TV specials, and even feature films, cementing the beast's place in cryptid lore alongside Bigfoot and the Mothman. Recent sightings and ongoing mystery sightings of the beast continue to this day, with locals and visitors reporting strange howls, unexplained tracks, and fleeting glimpses of a hulking, wolf-like figure. Trail cameras have captured unusual images, though none provide definitive proof. Investigators remain divided, but one thing is clear. The legend of the Beast of Bray Road endures, a chilling reminder of the unknown lurking just beyond the edge of civilization. For the people of Elkhorn, the beast is more than just a story. It's a part of their identity, a mystery that connects the mundane with the extraordinary. Whether it's a cryptid, a spirit, or a figment of imagination, the Beast of Bray Road refuses to be forgotten. I didn't even want to go on that damn road trip. Tommy had this wild idea to make a fake video of the Beast of Bray Road. Said it'd be easy money if we sold the footage to some news station or tabloid. The rest of us, Chris, Denise, Johnny, and Pete, weren't so sure, but Tommy was persistent. He even rented some cheap werewolf costume. To sweeten the deal, Tommy got this hunter named Ray to come along. Said he was a local who'd been hunting in the area for decades. Ray was an older guy, probably in his late 40s, with a face like weathered leather and eyes sharp as a hawk's. He didn't believe in the beast, not really, but he also wasn't dismissive. People take this legend seriously, he said, as we drove toward Bray Road. If you're planning on fooling anyone, stay close to me. The woods out here aren't friendly, even without monsters. The plan was simple. Find a clearing, set up the camera, and film Johnny, who was wearing the costume, stumbling out of the woods as the beast. Easy enough, right? We stopped at a rest area to stretch our legs and grab some food. Inside, there was a bulletin board plastered with local news clippings, most of them about the Beast of Bray Road. One headline caught my eye. Local farmer claims beast killed livestock. Authorities skeptical. Another read, strange tracks found near Bray Road. Man, my grandparents used to tell me stories about something like this, Chris said, as we stood around the board. Said their farm got terrorized by something. Half man, half bear. They swore it was real. Tommy laughed it off. Yeah, sure. People will say anything to make their lives sound more interesting. By the time we reached the clearing, the sun was dipping below the horizon, and the chill of the night was setting in. The place got eerily quiet. No birds, no crickets, just the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. Ray cocked his shotgun as a precaution, muttering something about not staying out too long. Johnny went to hide in the woods while the rest of us set up the camera. 7 minutes passed, then 10. We started hearing this low, distant howl, unlike any wolf I'd ever heard. It was guttural, almost human. "Johnny's trying too hard," Tommy said, rolling his eyes. But something in Ray's expression told me he wasn't so sure. 15 minutes later, we were ready to film. Tommy flashed the flashlight, the signal for Johnny to come out. But nothing happened. "Johnny," Tommy called. No answer. Ray looked at his watch, then at the tree line. "Stay here," he said, cocking his shotgun again. "Don't move." We stood there in uneasy silence as Ray disappeared into the woods. Minutes passed. Then a gunshot rang out, splitting the air like a thunderclap. Another shot followed, and then a roar, not a growl, a roar so loud it made my bones vibrate. When Ray came stumbling out of the woods 10 minutes later, he was carrying Johnny, or what was left of him. "Oh my God," Denise whispered, her voice cracking. Johnny was barely recognizable. One of his legs was missing below the knee, his arm dangled by a few tendons, and half his face was gone. But he was still alive, barely clinging on. "Help me," Ray barked. "Get him in the car. He's losing too much blood." We scrambled to help, our hands trembling as we loaded Johnny into the back seat. Ray kept shouting at us to keep him awake, but Johnny's eyes were glazing over fast. The drive to the hospital was a blur. We kept asking Ray what happened, but he wouldn't answer until we got there. When we pulled up to the emergency room, nurses rushed out to take Johnny. We waited, sitting in stunned silence until Ray finally spoke. "I found him looking at something," he said, his voice low and strained. "There was a figure, tall, skinny, with shaggy fur. It wasn't human, but it wasn't an animal either. Johnny saw it too. Before I could warn him, it came sprinting out of the bushes and—" Ray trailed off, his hands shaking. "I shot it," he said finally, "twice. It screamed and ran off into the woods, but not before it did that to him." The nurse came out an hour later with the news. Johnny didn't make it. We reported everything to the police. They searched the area but found no tracks, no blood, no sign of anything unusual. Ray wasn't satisfied. "I'm going back," he told us a few days later. "That thing's still out there." He never came back. To this day, I don't know what we saw or what we lost. But every time I think about it, I hear that roar and see Johnny's mangled body. Whatever's lurking near Bray Road, it's not just a story. It's real.